Now, it was the big war of rallies in battleground West Bengal as Home Minister Amit Shah squared off against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Mamata held her second public meeting on a wheelchair in Purulia district, where she lashed out at the BJP for doubting her injury. She also declared that her injury won't stop her from working for the people. She also invoked the tribal leaders of the district and accused the BJP of only spreading terror and riots in the state. Home Minister Amit Shah addressed two rallies in Bengal ahead of the polls. Addressing a rally in Bankura's Raniband, Amit Shah slammed Mamata Banerjee, saying that she is hurt due to her injury in Nandigram. But what about the 130 BJP workers who were killed in political violence in the state? Amit Shah also accused the TMC of Gunda Raj and corruption, saying that they stopped the welfare of tribals in the state. He also accused the TMC of supporting infiltrators.
अबे तय नहीं हो रहा कि चोट कैसे आई, जांच चल रही है। तृणमूल और कांग्रेस वाले कहते हैं कि बड़ा षड्यंत्र हो गया और चोट करा दी। चुनाव आयोग कहता है हमला नहीं हुआ है, हादसा हुआ है। भगवान जाने सच कौन है।
আমি আগেও বলেছি তোমরা যতই চেষ্টা করো আমি যতদিন আমার এই গলার শ্বাস আছে হৃদয় চলবে তোমরা আমার কণ্ঠকে স্তব্ধ করতে পারবে না তোমাদের বিরুদ্ধে আমার লড়াই চলবে এবং চলছে তার কারণ আমি জানি আমাকে আক্রমণ করলে আমার মা বোনেরা হাতা খুন্তি দিয়ে জবাব দেবে রান্না করতে করতে।
Now, the battleground, in fact, the battle for Nandigram between Mamata Banerjee and her former confidant Suvendu Adhikari is getting fiercer by the day. BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari has now raised objections over Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's nomination. Suvendu has called Mamata's nomination papers illegal, saying that the Chief Minister did not mention a total of 6 cases against her. In fact, the BJP leader added that Mamata Banerjee has 5 FIRs against her in Assam from 2018 and 1 CBI FIR against her. Suvendu has also appealed to the Election Commission to take action against Mamata Banerjee.
মাননীয়া মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের প্রার্থী তার এপিডব্লিউতে 6টা মামলার উল্লেখ করেন সাপ্রেস অফ ফ্যাক্ট 6টা মামলার উল্লেখ করেননি এর মধ্যে 2018 সালে আসামের 5টা এফআইআর আছে আর একটা সিবিআই এফআইআর আছে এবং একটা এফআইআর কোয়াশিং এর জন্য তিনি কলকাতা হাইকোর্টে গিয়েছিলেন জাস্টিস জগমাল্য বাগচির কোর্টে সেটা রিজেক্ট হয়েছিল আমি সব তথ্য প্রমাণ দিয়ে স্কুটিনির সময় দিয়েছি ইলেকশন কমিশন এটা কোয়েরি করবে আমার অভিযোগটাই তো ফাইনাল নয় প্রকৃত ওই কেসগুলো পেন্ডিং আছে কিনা ইলেকশন কমিশন দেখবে দেখার পরে আমি আশা করব তারা সুবিচার দিবে আইন মেনে দিবে আইন তো সবার জন্য এক মোদিজির জন্য যা হবে মমতা ব্যানার্জির জন্য তাই হবে আপনার জন্য তাই হবে আমার জন্য তাই হবে অতএব তারা আমি দায়িত্ব নিয়ে তথ্য প্রমাণ দিয়ে অভিযোগ করেছি আশা করব নির্বাচন কমিশন এর তদন্ত করে সঠিক সিদ্ধান্ত নেবে আমি যদি সুবিচার না পাই আমি আমার রাস্তায় যাব।
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, meanwhile, Edappadi Palliswamy has reignited Jayalalitha's death row by blaming the DMK for her demise. In a sharp and most direct attack there, EPS said that it was Karunanidhi and Stalin who were responsible for the death of Amma. He went on to claim that Amma went into depression after being falsely implicated by the DMK bosses. Here's a report on that.
Jayalalitha's soul will punish them. The piercing declaration that has gone out from Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi K. Palniswamy. Over 4 years after Amma's death, a tragedy still under investigation, the poll-bound state's title defender has blamed the Karunanidhi family for their arch-rival's demise. If you're wondering what the connection is, this is what EPS had to say.
அம்மா நண்பரிப்போடு சிறந்த ஆட்சி இன்றைக்கு தமிழகத்திலே கொடுத்துக் கொண்டுள்ளார் அவர் மீது வீண் பழி சுமத்தி இன்றைக்கு நீதிமன்றத்தில் நிரபராதி என்று வெளியில் வந்த பிறகும் மீண்டும் மேல்முறையிட்டு அவருக்கு மன உளைச்சலை ஏற்படுத்தி அவர்கள் இன்றைக்கு உரிய முறையிலே சிகிச்சை பெற முடியாத சூழ்நிலை அவர்கள் துரதிர்ஷ்டவசமாக மண்ணிலிருந்து மறைந்திருக்கின்றார்கள்.
And just to reinforce the image, he said it again.
மண்ணிலே இருந்து மறைவதற்கு காரணம் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழக தலைவர் கருணாநிதி அவர்களும் ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களும் தான் என்பதை நாட்டு மக்கள் அறிவார்கள்.
The DMK has retorted with derision. The new attack is the latest in a spiraling crossfire that was detonated from India Today's Conclave South stage last week in Chennai. where temperatures were triggered by this challenge thrown down by the Chief Minister and the fiery retort 24 hours later from the same stage.
ஒரு மேடை அமையுங்கள், நான் ஒரு மைக்கை பிடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன், நீங்கள் ஒரு மைக்கை பிடித்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள், எந்த ஒரு துண்டுச்சீட்டும் இல்லாமல் மேடைகளை பேசுங்கள், எங்கள் மீது என்ன குற்றச்சாட்டு சொல்கிறீர்களோ அதற்கு தகுந்த பதிலை நாங்கள் சொல்கிறோம்.
என்னை அழைத்து விவாதிக்க தயாரா என்று கேட்பதை விட தமிழ்நாட்டிற்கு தலைகுனிவாக இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு நிலையில் இந்தியா டுடே வெளியிட்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த பத்திரிகையில் ஏன் தமிழ்நாடு இடம்பெறவில்லை என்று இந்தியா டுடேயோடு நீங்கள் டிபேட்டிலே கலந்து கொண்டிருந்த போது விவாதித்திருக்க வேண்டும். அந்த கேள்வியை நீங்கள் கேட்டிருந்தால் உள்ளபடியே நான் பாராட்டியிருப்பேன்.
Jayalalitha's death has been a running feud in the poll-bound state, with the tug of war now reaching an angry peak. Stalin promised to deliver the truth on Amma's death if voted to power, a significant gesture in this ongoing tussle over her legacy.
While this latest flashpoint shows that there is a power void post-Jayalalitha era, it also confirms that her towering shadow still looms across Tamil Nadu's state of war. With camera person Divyan, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
The YSR Congress party, meanwhile, sweeps victory in urban body elections in Andhra Pradesh, winning at least 74 out of the 75 municipalities and all the 11 municipal corporations. There were, however, no takers for Naidu's efforts to demonize Jagan, with serious accusations of politics of vengeance, corruption and bloodshed. Here's more on that.
Victory can't be sweeter than this. In what is being seen as a loud and clear endorsement of Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, his party YSRCP has swept the urban local body polls. Jagan's party has won 74 out of 75 municipalities and 11 of the 12 corporations, with counting yet to take place in a 12th corporation. The ruling party is overjoyed.
The people of Andhra Pradesh are with YS Jagan Mohan Reddy and his ruling, and it is clear-cut indication the way they are supporting YS Jagan Mohan Reddy, and clear indication there is no other party nearby to YSRCP.
The outcome has punctured the Telugu Desam's hopes for any revival. In a tweet, Chandrababu Naidu claimed his party had fought the elections despite threats and abuse of power and hopes to succeed in the future. The victory could be bigger for Jagan Reddy. Results are awaited in Eluru Municipal Corporation, counting awaits clearance from the Andhra Pradesh High Court. With Ashish Pandey in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, twists and turns continue in Ambani bomb scare case. High-profile Mumbai cop Sachin Waze had been suspended now. This is a day after he was sent to NIA custody until the 25th of March for his alleged role in placing explosives-laden car near Antilia on the 25th of Feb. The NIA has now intensified its probe. Sources say the NIA is probing if Sachin Waze was present at Carmichael Road near Antilia when the bomber parked explosives-laden car near Antilia. Waze, meanwhile, has moved the Bombay High Court, challenging his arrest as illegal. India Today has now accessed another CCTV footage showing Innova car coming out of the police headquarters. In fact, this is the same car which the bomber used to flee Mumbai after parking explosives in the Scorpio car near Antilia. The car is now, as of now, is in NIA custody for further probe. It is to be noted that Sachin Waze was leading the CIU unit and probing this case initially. Now, raging politics over the arrest of Mumbai cop Sachin Waze. The BJP has now mounted its attack there on Uddhav Thackeray government, accusing it of protecting the controversial cop. Shiv Sena, meanwhile, has also termed NIA action against Waze an insult to the Maharashtra police. Here's more on that.
the discovery of a bomb-laden vehicle outside Mukesh Ambani's Mumbai residence. Then the mysterious death of Mansukh Hiren, the owner of the SUV. And now a possible role of a Mumbai police officer in the entire chain of events that has cast a shadow on India's top police force as well as the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government. Mumbai police has suspended Assistant Police Inspector Sachin Vaze after his arrest by the NIA. But that will not be enough to limit the political damage. The opposition BJP has trained its gun on the Shiv Sena, questioning Vaze's reinstatement 13 years after he quit the service.
जिस समय वो सस्पेंडेड थे उस समय शिवसेना में उन्होंने प्रवेश किया था, शिवसेना के प्रवक्ता के रूप में भी उन्होंने काम किया था। तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो है एक प्रकार से केवल मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अपने हित के लिए इस प्रकार का कार्य ये बहुत ही गलत बात है और इसमें से हमारे सरकार की, हमारे पुलिस की इमेज भी खराब होती है।
30 नवंबर 2007 को सचिन वाजे ने अपना त्याग पत्र दे दिया। सचिन वाजे का सस्पेंशन रद्द करके 6 जून 2020 को वापस उसकी पुलिस दल में भर्ती की। इसके बारे में उद्धव ठाकरे जी एक्सप्लेनेशन देंगे क्या?
Another BJP leader accused Vaze of extortion and alleged involvement of Aditya Thackeray's cousin.
If such an important person who is a relative in the Maharashtra government, he is making calls to Sachin Vaje, then obviously it raises the questions why was Sachin Vaje protected by the CM himself in the Adhiveshan? Why are all the Shiv Sena leaders coming out and standing next to him? So is this Varun Sardesai the link to this entire thing? That has to be investigated.
In the midst of the political storm, Sena ally NCP chief Sharad Pawar met CM Uddhav Thackeray to discuss the political situation arising out of Vaze's arrest. The Maratha strongman also held a separate meeting with state ministers. The Shiv Sena on the back foot has termed the NIA action against Vaze an insult to Maharashtra police.
सरकार, पुलिस ये सब अपने अपने काम करते रहते, एटीएस भी अपना काम कर रहा है, लेकिन एटीएस ने कार्रवाई करने से पहले एनआईए ने जांच शुरू कर दी, वो पकड़ लिया उसको। अगर अपराधी था तो हम लोग भी उसको पकड़ लेते, हमारे पुलिस पकड़ लेते, जांच तो चल रही है।
What makes the controversy embarrassing for the Shiv Sena is Vaze's association with the party. The suspended police officer had joined the Sena after he quit service years ago. Now the BJP is attributing motives to Vaze's sudden reinstatement. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, last month, 22-year-old Rashmi Samath created history by winning the Oxford University Student Union elections. However, she was now subject to racist remarks by students and even teachers on her social media platform. Now, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said in the parliament that the incident will be taken up with his counterparts. Let's take a listen.
Oxford University, one of the world's top institutions of learning, is under cloud for alleged racism. 22-year-old Rashmi Samath created history when she was elected the Students' Union president at the Oxford University. But after breaking barriers, she soon faced a backlash. Her old social media posts were pulled up and taken out of context. Rashmi finally threw in the towel, opting to quit rather than face the harassment. The issue was raised in India's parliament on Monday. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar made it clear the government will take up the matter with the UK government.
I note the sentiments of the House that we have strong ties with the UK. We will take up such matters with great candour when required. We will monitor these developments very, very closely. We will raise it when required, and we will always champion the fight against racism and other forms of intolerance.
It had no caption.
Rashmi, speaking to India Today, had detailed the nature of harassment she faced. Rashmi claims she even got racist mails on her university email ID.
A few members in the student community started digging old social media posts, misinterpreted the captions to demonize me, and what followed was a very brutal social media trial along with consistent anonymous bullying, which happened through all of my social media platforms, including my university email ID, which is one of the most sacred places. You know, you're not supposed to send anything like that.
At times, even faculty members allegedly targeted her. Rashmi says an image of Lord Ram her mother had posted was shared, suggesting she was backed by far-right forces.
Making various vile references like, we all know who must have funded her election, we all know who must have supported her, and that Oxford is not ready to have a Sanatani president. So all these baseless, nasty allegations were made about my religion, about my upbringing and background, just because my parents are Hindu and I'm Hindu. And this was something a faculty member did.
A complaint she filed has not resulted in any outcome so far.
There's been a long paper trail, but there's been nothing conclusive, or there hasn't been any formal investigation so as to speak of. But I'm holding out some hope that, you know, that they do something about it. So
the government's intervention brings hope for Rashmi and other Indian students. While it may not lead to any immediate result, India, which has fought racism for decades, can't be silent when its own citizens face it abroad. Bureau Report, India Today.
On that note, it's a wrap on this bulletin. For the news and updates, you could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app for more. Stay tuned. An India Today special coming up next.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.